to the watch, and Twitch just is taking more and more L's constantly.
Yeah. They've been in the news for policy reasons, for lots of controversies, but now it's laying off people.
But I think it is worthwhile just taking a quick recap of some of the more recent stuff around Twitch, because the platform just is getting worse and worse. Like, it's been inundated with basically thoughts just trying to hook young, impressionable guys and then bait them into their OnlyFans.
Yeah.
That seems to be the main strategy at the moment, which is depressing.
Yes, it is. I mean, I think it's more depressing because there's other people who have been using the platform to play video games or have podcasts or do other things. And then their content is being encroached by this, because obviously they have algorithms too there that then feed off. And so I would... really sad for those Twitch streamers who actually make a living off this and now feel like their platform's dying.
Well, make a living. I mean, the revenue share isn't even... Anyway, good. That's why Kick has been, taking so many of the streamers, because they offer much more competitive rates on these things. Before we continue, though, we do want to mention that if you like the content here on Night's Watch, please become a member. We have memberships here on Night's Watch, or you could support us on Player. And not sure when we'll have set up our dedicated Patreon or Subscribestar, but if you want to support Night's Watch specifically, we got memberships and Player already set up, and you can help us continue to do what we do here. It'd actually be great if we want to expand here on Night's Watch, and we're always going to be, making content and stuff, but it'd be great to even try and bring on a new host one time, but we need a lot more support to try and get to that level. So if you appreciate it, we thank you for your support. All right, so back to Twitch, right? So there's been issues for a while already, and one of the concerns that many people have raised regarding this is that Twitch does have a bit of a young kind of, audience. A lot of young guys, teenage boys, right? They like video games. They want to see people streaming video games and stuff, so they go to Twitch. And then Twitch recommends, here is a... When I say attractive, some of them are questionably attractive, but they milk other assets, should I say.
That's one way of putting it, Shad, sure.
Yes, and they have very low-cut tops and other things that bait. Oh, look, this is promoted and stuff. And then the young guys, it's like, they're young guys. What do you expect, right?
To have some self-control, I think. But, in this day and age, there isn't much of that.
Yep. And then they start watching these other, streamers that... Have you seen some of them?
Which ones are you talking about, Shad? Because there's like the hot...
Pokimane.
Oh, yeah. Just the scripted, reactionary default.
Yeah, like when you actually see some of their commentary, there is not much going on upstairs. It's like... Where is the quality content? I don't think people are coming to watch these streamers for their, intellectual takes.
Well, yeah, that's... people who may not have other assets that they do need to have the intelligence and charisma to actually have an audience.
Well, then there's almost a tier of low effort streamers. There's the got nothing apart from boobs, basically. But the thing is, though, I think there are a lot of also really low effort male streamers as well that all they can really do is not even crack a funny joke now and then, but they capitalize on the shared experience thing where we watch something together and it feels like people have company and companionship.
Yeah.
And because this is the thing, when I've been I have criticized some of these female streamers, right, for not having really highbrow commentary. Some of the male streamers, like XQC, they're not exactly coming out with some really engaging commentary.
No, and that's the thing. When you look at it, it's both sides. Everyone's just, for some reason, people are flocking to these people who are saying not very intelligent things. I'm more confused, really, about why they pick watching them. Like, are people that bored that they can't do anything else?
maybe. The thing is, though, there are some streamers that actually are engaging in their commentary, like Asmongold.
Yeah.
Even recently, I watched like a supercut, which he just had a discussion on stream about the anime localization stuff, and it was just, he had a good kind of perspective.
Yeah.
And I think Moist Critical as well. And so there are streamers that actually are engaging to listen to. We're not saying all streamers, but there is a good number of them that are just, yeah.
Well, going back to the whole Twitch story and stuff, I think the last thing that happened really was the nudity policy stuff that changed around.
So this came from the there was a meta that some streamers started to do where they basically would they would pretend to be naked by having censor strips over the areas, and they might actually be wearing something skimpy to cover it underneath just for safety in case something slips, right? But that, to me, that was particularly pathetic and desperate. And I gotta give the Quartering credit for, I think, that honestly the best take about this, right? He says these female streamers are capitalizing on the surprise boob thing. It's like he was right to call a lot of these women doing it. If you looked at their face, they're butt ugly, right? They're not attractive. And it's like they're only doing it on Twitch because they can't compete on OnlyFans on their own merit. And so they're trying to bait in, young, impressionable guys or whatever, because it's in an area where that's generally not allowed. And so it's capitalizing on what is called the surprise boob thing, right? And then they would bait them into trying to support their pathetic OnlyFans junk. And so it's predatory, right? It's actually predatory and exploitative, and I have a very low opinion of the people doing that. But Twitch allowed it. She wasn't getting banned, and then they expanded the policy to try and more safely allow it. And first they had a kind of open version of the policy, and people then abused it to hell.
And it wasn't like a few days as well.
Yeah.
Like it was
just instant.
It's like, oh, okay, floodgates have opened. We need to close them again.
Yep. And what's also funny though, I think it had some of the highest engagements Twitch had in years, which is
I wonder why.
Right? It seems like so many of the user base actually just wants Twitch to be some type of OnlyFans thing. It's sad.
I don't know if it's the user base so much.
But so many of the users were ready to jump on that nudity exploitation thing.
But when you have a website that is showing certain things, Shad, people will flock to it. Yes. I'm sure the user base, there's stuff on YouTube doesn't mean we'll actually want to go and watch it. But, there's certain things on the internet that people have their interest piqued on. So they're going to go to that.
Yeah. So they had to pull back the policy, but that still didn't stop people from trying to tease the meta, and so there were some male streamers doing the censor thing, and one of the more disgusting examples of this, and I'm glad to this day I have not watched this clip. It was floating around on Twitter, and I was like, no, Boogie did it.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Thank you for reminding me that, Shad.
You're welcome.
That was... Because he's banned for life now, isn't he? Because
I know he's banned. I don't know how long or if it's been
permanently. I probably
because supposedly there was a slip.
Oh, there wasn't a slip.
And the claim wasn't that it was a claim was that it wasn't a private part, but a bit of flabby skin in the same general area.
Either way, it's disgusting.
Well, I haven't watched it, but I wonder what's worse, leaving it to my imagination. But I don't want that image seared into my mind.
No. Anyways, what does any of this have to do with layoffs?
Well, it just goes to show you the general decline of Twitch. Look at what the content is becoming, right? What people are doing on the platform. Once upon a time, it actually had some respect. It was like, hey, this is the go-to place for gaming streams and stuff like that. And now it's just degenerated. And they could have capitalized it if they treated their users with some decency, give them better revenue share, and not... This is the other side of the decline of Twitch, right? Massively be infested with activists basically, that favor one certain political ideology, all right, and give kind of a softball to certain people, while because we see, and this is not necessarily ideological, but I wonder, right? Women, they would have certain mistakes where if a guy did it, he would be banned for life, but they only get like a suspension or something like that. And so there've been massive bias around there. But do you remember when Twitch hired the deer person?
No,
they hired like this deer guy person. I don't know, whatever they want to identify as, right? But very far down certain rabbit holes, right? And they started to tease other people that they were going to, be biased in the way that they were going to use their authority,
right,
and other things.
I feel like that happens a lot though, because I know with Twitch, like back in the day when it was gaming, it was really good. It was like the first website that had consistently good live streaming. Like that was a new technology, so everyone flocked to it to like experience it and also like do it as well. But then once they got bought up by Amazon, that's when I think things went really downhill, because when you have a big giant corporation that doesn't know what they've just bought, then obviously things get out of hand, which we've seen.
And it seems like Amazon hasn't really seen any of the value in Twitch, hasn't cared about it.
I mean, this is just business in general. It's funny when someone builds up a product, there is value associated with it. You might not be making that value, but when you buy out a business, doesn't mean it's making $1 million. It's worth $1 million. And so I reckon with Amazon, the reason why the layoffs happened is because they bought it for a certain amount and they realized the money actually isn't here. And then you got I just wonder how much money's been burnt and wasted on the policy changes and just the fires they have to put out.
Yeah, they've like shot themselves in the foot time and time again, to the point where it's almost on its last legs, right? Especially with what they were, the recent controversy that caused so many people to go, not as recent as the current stuff, but migrate over to Kick was when they tried to change the policy on sponsorships. And
yeah, that was another big thing.
Good on you shooting yourself in the head there. And so they have done actions and actions that have just whittled down the credibility, the popularity of the platform, and to the point where they've lost such a big opportunity. At one point, Twitch, if they actually capitalized, like I said, treated their users good and actually have some fair treatment and things, they could have started to try and compete with YouTube and expand to video content, right? But they've lost all of that to the point where massive layoffs are happening at Twitch. So the current one is like 500 employees, which is like 30-something% of their staff. And by the way, like before this, they also laid off 400 people. So it's like a bloodbath in the company.
I think, but like, obviously there's the decisions that Twitch has made as a business that's probably caused this. Also things like, during lockdowns and stuff, people were watching and, probably spending more money on Twitch, where now it's kind of dried up. But we've seen this happen with like every single tech company in the past year has just laid off everyone. And they're like, I think the only business I can think of that's actually made booming profits is like grocery stores.
Really? Okay.
Because when you think like Unity recently, they're laying off like 1,500 people.
Oh, really?
Unreal laid off like all of their quality assurance. Like Unreal, who makes Fortnite, are like, yeah, we over budgeted and we don't have enough money, so we got to fire a bunch of people. Microsoft, Amazon has, Uber, like any tech company now, there's no money in it anymore because there's no investment.
Well, we had a good economy at a certain time.
And now we don't.
And now we don't.
Now it's just, it is dipped. And it's going to keep dipping as well because, it's now New Year and people are still getting fired and losing their jobs. So I also think these platforms are in like a more mature state in their life cycle. And like I said before, like investment stuff are drying up because there's no longer that excitement now around like live streaming. YouTube does live streaming.
Exactly. There's a lot more viable competitors to Twitch.
TikTok does live streaming, and I think that's a lot more lucrative for people because, if you think Twitch is bad, TikTok live streaming is probably even worse in some states.
But yeah, viable competitors. YouTube live streaming in like it's actually really good. And there's big streamers that have just come over to do it on YouTube. And then, of course, you do have Kick and you do even have Rumble and things. And so viable, workable options. And yeah, like I just don't see it being competitive very much in the future, especially because YouTube is interesting. They've really focused on trying to offer or be the go-to platform where it's not just video content, it's going to be streaming, short content. They've really, really doubled. And I'm still a bit divided on shorts. I mean, I still am not fully convinced that the shorts are not taking away views from primary videos. But then I also feel like there does seem to be just an audience for shorts, short-related content.
There's a divide, I think. That's one thing I noticed even with like live streaming as well. People who watch live streams are sometimes different people who watch long-form content. And short people are in a entirely different boat as well. So being the place for everything also means that when you start building an audience, then you have a divided audience as well. So, or at least with Twitch, they've got VODs and stuff, but most of it is just live streaming. But I'm also saying that hasn't worked for them either because they can't adapt.
Exactly. And like when I think of the gaming platform, I don't think Twitch at all now.
No.
Twitch seems to be mostly just flooded with more commentary, like just...
Yeah, once they had the just chatting...
chatting thing. And that's predominantly what I see Twitch as now, with a lot of thoughts. And not everyone thoughts, okay, but a lot, right? And the gaming sphere on YouTube is huge. Really, really good.
Yeah. YouTube doesn't care about it.
I know that. Like, that's been like that for years.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, gaming comprises actually a huge percentage of YouTube viewership. Yeah. And so even like 5 years ago or so, when I went to VidCon, where YouTube was the primary kind of platform that VidCon would promote, and so YouTube would be there and they'd have their presentation of what YouTube is and everything, a depressing lack of gaming content representation. It was all just like the influencer kind of stuff.
Yeah.
YouTube has tried to ignore the kind of the gaming side for ages. And you know why I think that?
Why?
Because the gaming audience is predominantly male.
Yes. I also just think it's run by boomers who don't know what video games are.
Probably.
Like, I think of Twitch, I'm like, the reason why it went downhill was because Amazon bought it, and all those executives think gaming is still Atari or Nintendo, and so they have no awareness of what it actually is. And so they mismanage it because they just think, oh, it's for children.
Possibly. So the layoffs at Twitch. I wonder if, because this is not like comparable to Elon Musk just gutting the company from bad workers, work employees. The rot is still there. They're just cutting because of money cuts, where I actually think a lot of the kind of fluff, useless jobs are probably still infested in there. Like, we saw the video showing a day in the life of an employee at Twitter, right? And it was adult daycare.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of fluff where it's like, I'm going to go to this meeting, and then I'm going to go have a latte, then I'm going to probably relax in the meditation room, then go to another meeting, and, there's this icon or logo that... I'll probably have to work on, and it's like, it should only take half an hour. That'll take me half a day. And then, got to write an email. They're important. And so take a day to write an email like that.
Yeah, businesses like that just baffle me. Because I think with Twitch, you've obviously got people in the back end who are like stressing, like, I feel so sorry for anyone who's to moderate like Twitch and go through all their content. But then you've got the like research and development, or the designers, or maybe some other people who are, they have a job, but, hopefully a few of those people have been, I don't want to say to anyone that, I'm glad you got let go, but also, some people's jobs just, it's part of living.
If they're lazy workers that are just like in this daycare jobs, like, you deserve to get fired. You're not actually working.
At the same time, in this day and age, like, people are getting let go a lot. Like, you are not alone in this. There are a lot of people who've just been...
I mean... Twitter is the best example in this. Elon gutted Twitter. I don't know the exact percentage of the staff it's currently running on versus the staff it was running on, but it is reduced crazy amounts, and the platform's working fine. In fact, it's working better than it was before in terms of...
Just a little bit. I get too many bots now.
You get too many bots?
There were not that many bots before. Now there's just too many bots.
I'm glad that people aren't getting censored as much. Bots still are an issue.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to do a video discussion on the bots of Twitter. That's a separate thing.
Maybe it's just the fact that the size is smaller, so they can't crunch the bots. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think there's another reason, which we'll talk about perhaps in another video, because what I feel has shown is that it shouldn't be too complex to run like a Twitter kind of website, right? It's the size, the moderation, and the user base. That's the difficulty. But in terms of the code to get the thing working, I don't think it's just going to take like hundreds of people.
You just need really smart people. Hardworking people.
Yeah. But that's what I kind of see about Twitch, right? I get the feeling that they could probably run it on a much smaller, employee base.
I wouldn't be surprised.
With people that actually are good at the job and work hard.
People who got that go are people who like do support work, the ones who go out to like events and stuff and have like a Twitch booth, like all the like kind of middlemen and stuff. Probably got that go because they don't really need them from the website, but it's nice to have as a business because then it helps with marketing, whatever else. Yeah,
the whole diversity, inclusion, equity kind of side of things. I think there might be a number of people in the human resources department probably getting axed. A lot of certain marketers that are just I bet there's a lot of fluff. I don't think it'll help Twitch out though. Like the fundamental problem is the same.
Yeah. And I'm talking about Amazon, and the only thing they've done right is make Amazon.com. I mean, Prime, you get some good stuff, but you also get some bad stuff. When you get business that big, you're going to fail because you don't. Yeah,
unless something drastic changes, they have shown that they have no intention of changing their behavior. In fact, it's still like that more recent change of dealing with the advertisers, the sponsorship, right? Shows that their mindset isn't benefit creators. It's a corporate kind of thing where they just want to not make the platform better for the users or the actual people making content, but can we milk them for everything they got?
Make more money.
Exactly.
But I think it's funny because that also makes a worse platform.
Exactly.
So they don't make more money.
Let us know what you think in the comments below. How much longer do you reckon Twitch will stay around? Do you reckon it'll just like in the background become a secondary kind of platform? People, it's there, but it'll stick around forever, or it actually will die eventually?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what Amazon's plans are for it. They might just retire it. I reckon maybe it'll probably have another 10, 15 years of just slowly dwindling, and then there'll be a point where they'll just be like, all right, we're closing Twitch down now.
I'd give it 5 years.
5 years?
5 years.
I don't know. I think the thoughts will keep it alive a bit longer.
Probably, unless they change it to just an OnlyFans kind of thing, or something. Once
they integrate that,
exactly, then it'll be around forever. But unless they change something drastic, I reckon it's got 5 years left.
I reckon it's got a bit more, unless Amazon goes bust. Who knows?
Let us know what you think, and as always, stay on watch.